Welcome back, everyone, to A Course in Miracles and Practice. We are continuing our daily walk through the workbook, and today we get to sit with Lesson 286. The hush of heaven holds my heart today.
That title, just saying it feels calming, doesn't it? Like you almost want to whisper it. The hush of heaven. It really sets a tone of slowing down, of listening.
It does, and it feels like a significant point in our journey this year. We've spent so much time working diligently, haven't we? Learning about forgiveness, noticing the ego, choosing trust.
All that active mind training.
Exactly. And now it feels like the Course is saying, okay, the foundation is there. You can rest now. Not rest from the world, maybe, but rest in the understanding that peace was always here.
That recognition is everything, isn't it? It's not about earning peace through other anymore, but simply acknowledging it's already established. The striving can ease up.
So, with that kind of feeling, let's invite that stillness in as we read the lesson text itself. I'll start with the first paragraph. Lesson 286. The hush of heaven holds my heart today. Father, how still today? How quietly do all things fall in place? This is the day that has been chosen as the time in which I come to understand the lesson, that there is no need that I do anything. In you is every choice already made. In you has every conflict been resolved. In you is everything I hope to find already given me. Your peace is mine. My heart is quiet and my mind at rest. Your love is heaven and your love is mine.
The stillness of today will give us hope that we have found the way and traveled far along it to a wholly certain goal. Today we will not doubt the end which God himself has promised us. We trust in him and in ourself, who still is one with him. You know, reading that, especially after months of more directive lessons, there's a real physical sense of relaxation that comes with it. The tone is so different. No striving, just quiet certainty.
That's a great way to put it. It feels like we were building spiritual muscle.
Yeah.
Training the mind, watching thoughts, practicing forgiveness over and over.
Developing those observation skills.
Right. And now this lesson, and this whole section really, feels like the Course trusts that we've done enough of that groundwork. Now it's inviting us to simply rest in what we've learned, to experience the result of that training.
Which brings us right to that potentially challenging line. There is no need that I do anything. People can really misunderstand that one.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's easy to hear it as, okay, great, I could just sit on the couch and do nothing. Physical paralysis.
But that's not it at all, is it? It's describing a state of mind, a state of inner peace, where you realize the frantic doing driven by fear isn't necessary anymore. Your alignment is already present in God.
And we have to square this with our daily lives, right? We have jobs, families, kids arguing, things to manage. Life keeps happening.
Of course. Life goes on within the dream.
So the rest isn't about abandoning those things. It's about maybe resting within the dream. It's releasing the tension, that feeling that we personally have to hold the whole world together through sheer effort. Letting go of the belief that this physical world is the whole story.
Yes. Exactly. It's like realizing there's a deep, calm current underneath the choppy surface of daily activity. God's rest is that underlying calm. It lets you show up for your life, do what needs doing, but without that constant edge of anxiety or control.
That need to micromanage everything, born out of fear that if I don't fix it, it'll all fall apart.
Which connects directly to, in you has every conflict been resolved. If the core conflict, the idea of separation, is already resolved in reality, then all these little skirmishes we see,
arguments, disagreements, frustrations,
sound like echoes or shadows of a conflict that's already over. So we don't need to jump in and force a resolution based on fear. We can remember the true resolution has already happened.
This reminds me so much of learning how to parent differently. My boys, they can find conflict in sharing a glass of water.
I imagine active boys.
Very. And for the longest time, I felt this intense pressure to be the instant referee. Argument starts. Jump in, dictate the solution, demand apologies, make it quiet. Now,
trying to control the external situation to feel peaceful inside.
Totally. But it was exhausting, and honestly, it didn't teach them much except that Dad would fix it. It just suppressed the issue.
And maybe reinforce the idea that conflict needs an external authority rather than internal resolution.
I think so. So now I try something different. I hear the familiar sounds of battle escalating,
Uh-huh.
and I make myself pause just for a second. I remind myself, okay, every conflict has already been resolved. I stay present, I'm still dad. But I don't immediately leap in to engineer the outcome. I try to just hang back a bit.
And what happens when you hang back?
Often, maybe even usually now, they sort it out themselves. It might involve some shouting, some negotiation, but then suddenly it shifts. They reach a truce or one distracts the other and they move on.
They're learning to navigate it.
They are. And they're getting better at it, which helps them grow. But the biggest change, honestly, is in me. I feel so much more peace because I've let go of that belief that I'm solely responsible for orchestrating every single outcome. The tension drops.
That's a perfect example of this lesson in practice. That pause, that conscious choice not to react out of fear of noise, fear of things getting messy, that's where the stillness comes in. You stopped confusing frantic activity with necessary action.
Yeah, the peace isn't actually dependent on them being quiet. It comes from my mind letting go of its investment and making them quiet according to my timeline.
That feeling of relief when the urge to control just subsides, that's the hush of heaven making itself known. It's realizing the peace wasn't gone, it was just drowned out by our own mental efforts to fix a problem that, at its core, isn't real.
And this whole section of the workbook, roughly lessons 280 to 290, seems to hammer this home. Certainty, safety, the peace of God is ours. It's not something we're striving towards anymore.
It's a shift from learning new things to recognizing what's already true. We're remembering our inheritance.
And that changes how we approach prayer, too, doesn't it? Earlier on, many prayers felt like asking, pleading almost, help me see this differently, guide me.
Acknowledging a perceived lack, in a way.
Right, but look at the prayer in this lesson. Your peace is mine, my heart is quiet, your love is heaven, and your love is mine. These are declarations, statements of fact.
It's acknowledging what is rather than asking for something we think we don't have. And that shift in stance is incredibly settling. It's claiming the truth.
So for you listening, when you feel that tension rising maybe in traffic or during a tense meeting or trying to get dinner on the table,
The daily moments of friction.
yes, try this. Take one slow breath, and instead of asking, please make this stop, just affirm inwardly, every conflict has already been resolved. See how that shifts your feeling before you take the next step.
Allow that certainty to kind of soak in for a moment.
And the result, well, sometimes the outside situation does shift almost magically. The argument stops, the traffic clears, the difficult person softens.
It happens, but that's not the guarantee.
No. The guaranteed change is internal. Your resistance falls away. Your tension eases. That feeling, that internal release, even if the external situation looks the same for a moment, that's the hush of heaven breaking through. That's the real goal.
Which leads beautifully into a question we received from a listener, touching on this very transition from doing to being, from effort to rest. Okay, the question is, I really want the peace of God, and I understand what the joy of stillness means, but I'm afraid that stillness will turn into laziness. How do I tell the difference between the two?
Ah, yes. This is such a common fear. Our world often teaches us that our worth is tied to our productivity, our busyness. Stillness can feel unproductive, even suspicious.
Like we're somehow cheating or slacking off, we're not constantly striving. The ego really dislikes stillness.
It does. So how do we tell the difference? For me, one key is the feeling of being awake versus feeling sort of shut down.
Explain that a bit more.
Genuine stillness, the kind this lesson points to, feels very alert, very present. My body might be quiet, but my mind is attentive, listening inwardly, aware, ready to respond if guidance comes. It's a receptive state.
Okay.
Laziness, on the other hand, feels dull. It's like I'm trying to numb out, shut the world out. Often there's this low-grade anxiety humming underneath it, a feeling that I should be doing something, but I'm resisting it. It's heavy.
That heaviness is a good indicator. I think about the underlying intention. Stillness, true spiritual rest, comes from a place of trust. It's resting with purpose, even if that purpose is simply to be receptive. Laziness often stems from avoidance, from fear. It's hiding.
Hiding from perceived demands, maybe, or feeling overwhelmed.
Yes, or even subconscious guilt telling us we don't deserve peace, so we kind of shut down instead. It feels like being stuck, like inertia, often with the mind still racing with justifications for not doing anything.
That's a great point. The mind isn't quiet in laziness. It's often busy defending the inactivity. Whereas in true stillness, the mind finds rest.
And think about the result. Stillness, real rest, actually refuels you. It gives you energy and clarity, so when the time for action comes, you move from a place of centeredness.
You feel restored, ready.
Right. Laziness, because it's rooted in that resistance and maybe fear or guilt, is draining. You expend energy maintaining the state of avoidance. It leaves you feeling depleted, not refreshed.
So, for the listener asking, maybe observe. Does this quietness feel generative? Does it lead to clarity, even if the clarity is just wait? Or does it feel like a dead end, heavy and anxious?
Does it allow guidance to move through you, making you more available for the next right step? Or does it keep you stuck, perhaps bound by a fear of failure or judgment if you do act? Stillness connects you. Laziness disconnects.
And that fear, if I embrace stillness, I'll become lazy, that's pure ego logic, isn't it? The ego wants us to stay busy, frantic, performing. Its identity is built on doing and achieving in the world.
If we stop performing, the ego fears it will dissolve, which from the Course's perspective is actually the goal.
Exactly. The irony is that accepting the rest offered in this lesson is what allows for truly effective, inspired action. Action moves from being driven by frantic compulsion to being a calm, guided response.
Inspired action, not anxious reaction. Operating from that inner space where conflict is already resolved changes everything about how we engage with the world. We're not carrying that burden of fear with every step.
So this lesson 286, it feels like a culmination. All the work we've done leads to this, remembering the rest that's inherent in us. Peace isn't the reward at the end of a long struggle.
It's our starting point, just waiting to be noticed.
It's simply what we are, underneath all the noise we make trying to be something else.
And that hush, it's not about demanding silence from the world outside. It's the natural sound that emerges when our own internal noise, the ego's urgent voice, finally quiets down. It's always there, just waiting for us to tune in.
Thank you for joining us today for A Course in Miracles in Practice. We really do appreciate hearing from you, your thoughts, and your questions as you apply these lessons. You can email us at acim@theworldharmonyproject.org.
And you can also find us on TikTok and Instagram. Our handle is @TheWorldHarmonyProject.
We hope you connect with us there.
And before you move on to the next thing in your day, maybe take just a few seconds right now. Breathe. And just affirm that inner truth. Every conflict has already been resolved. Let that sink in.
We'll meet you back here tomorrow for our next lesson.
Until then.